Welcome back, everybody. I'm joined now by Mr. JC, our Lord and Savior. JC, how are you doing today?
Our
I'm doing
Lord
pretty good.
and
What about you?
Savior.
I'm doing
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I'm about to eat all the holiday goodness.
Now we get into patch notes.
So yeah, we've got.
Let's see who's gonna get some
we got a
fixes,
lot.
buffs,
Got a lot
nerfs, other
We got a lot of
changes. I don't
patchy
know.
notes to talk about.
Quite a few.
Balance updates, hero
So
improvements.
yeah, let's
okay.
let's start
Let's
off
see.
with hero improvements. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, this would be a perfect time to go ahead and eat my salad.
All right. So
Who's getting what?
But first, I
we're gonna start
want
with Lawbringer, right? So for Lawbringer, we've adjusted the speed of his dodge shove attacks, right? So front dodge shove is now 500 ms. It used to be 700. The side one is 533 rather, down from 700. And we've also updated the recovery for them to be 700 instead of 4. Basically, at the speed they were at, they weren't really functional as openers or dodge attacks. So by doing this, we're really hoping to get Lawbringer a bit more opening ability. But to compensate, so the idea we had before is that they were safe when they were dodged or whatever. They were like really, really difficult to punish, but they were really easy to avoid. So now we're trying to do the opposite, like we do with every other hero, which is they're harder to avoid, but they're easier to punish. So that's kind of what we're going with Lawbringer for this.
I think that's a welcome change. I know that's something I've seen players ask for a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
yeah, people
Should
want
really
some
help
changes
Lawbringer.
to
All right,
yeah.
Nusha,
Lawbringer.
right?
Nusha.
Ooh, Lucia?
So, Echo Strike. Is
Speaking
now
of somebody that needs
now,
changes,
if you don't really know Nusha
or
that
some
much,
help.
I'm sure chat right now is freaking out a little bit. Echo Strike is her deflect attack, right? So Echo Strike is now unblockable, which means that
Yeah,
it will
people
no
want
longer be
Nuxia to get
auto block
a
if you
rework.
don't change
She
your
desperately
stance,
needs
whatever
it,
you do when you
so.
perform it. So it'll always land, which is awesome. It's a really good quality of life change for Nusha. And it also deals 20 damage. It used to do like a really, really high amount of damage because you had to kind of like do some shenanigans to make it work. With this, at least, it'll always land. 20 damage is in line with what we have with a lot of deflect attacks. So they should work quite well. It's way better. So we should get there quite well. We've
Goddamn
also
range.
we also made the Crescent Jab and Crescent Step, which are front dodge and side dodge lights. They're both enhanced. Again, like we want to give Nusha a little bit an easier time to get into her chains, get into opponents if something is blocked from externally.
Look at this beautiful salad that I
And you
have.
have a bit more chance of getting into some.
This is a grilled chicken salad.
And we've
So it
also
has,
adjusted
like,
the time
eggs,
which Crescent Jab, which is the front
tomatoes, lettuce,
we perform during the front dodge, right? So it used to be at 10 ms static.
2 pieces of
Now
bread.
it's 100 to
I'm on a
400.
diet,
You can
so
do it
yeah,
earlier,
I'm
you can delay it a
eating
little bit
a
more.
bunch of
Some more
salads.
versatility
So.
there, so that works really, really well. And on top of that, we've also updated all of her weapon trajectories for side heavy attacks to match her weapon's visuals a little bit better. And to be fair, they're also a little bit bigger than her weapons to give her better anti-gank. One of the problems that Nusha has on top of being a reflex guard hero is that it's kind of hard to defend yourself when you get a bunch of people jumping onto you. So now you should be able to do her side heavies and get some people off of you at least a little bit more. So that should help there also a little bit and get her like a little bit higher up. Like she's not going to be like, the end all be all character, but at least those are really, really nice quality of life changes here for this.
Yeah, I'm so pumped because I've seen the comment of like give Nusha an unblockable for
Right.
literally years now. So it's so good to see it
Yeah.
actually happening.
I'm super happy about
Well,
it.
Nuxia needs
right,
a
now-
rework.
Didn't forget her.
That's what she needs.
Yeah. Beastkeeper, right? So for Beastkeeper, we focused a bit on making her dodge attacks or side dodge attacks be a bit safer, right? So side step strike, which is a side dodge heavy, used to have like 700 ms of recovery on miss. A lot of people were able to kind of like side dodge.
I wonder if
it
Medjai's gonna be in here.
on reaction.
Because I know people
So
said
it
that
really
Medjai
lowered
needs
the
some,
recovery of that attack by quite a bit on
and like he
miss
needs some
and
more
on
stuff.
block, or not entirely block.
And I wonder if the pirates
make
could
sure
be in
that
here.
the move is a lot safer.
Because I know
in a
people
lot of
want pirates to be
situations.
nerfed.
And as well, the riposting stab, which is a deflect attack. Now there's a medium hit reaction instead of a light, so you get better from advantage afterwards. If you do nothing, you're from advantage. If you want to go into chains or whatever, you get better mix up afterwards. And it also has a lower recovery on hits, now 400 ms. So it used to be longer. Again, here we're trying to give Peacekeepers attacks, like a lot of her dodge stuff and the deflect stuff, to be a bit safer, be more usable, and have like a bit more utility in different situations.
PK mains rejoice.
Oh yeah. All right, now Raider nerfs. So Raider is a character that's still
Raider's
a
getting
bit
nerfed.
overperforming, and we wanted to make sure that the hero was toned down a little bit. Not massively, but enough that you kind of feel it a little bit. And so finding the hero is going to be less frustrating. So first off, the stamina pool is now 120, which is like the standard stamina pool for most heroes. It used to be at 130, and on top of having a lot of soft feints, Raider has feels like he never runs out of stamina. So at 120, it's gonna help that. It's gonna alleviate that a little bit. It's not like he still is really stamina efficient, but it's not. I have infinite stamina now, so that makes a big difference. And then we've nerfed a lot of his attacks for their damage down a little bit, right? So Chain Top Heavy now deals 28, Chain Side Heavy now deals 26, so they used to deal 30 and 27, mostly because the finishers now deal 30 and 28, and the Zone Attack and Chains also deals 28. So the idea here is that we want to cap damage for those finishers at 30, like we've been doing quite often, and so we wanted to have Raider's damage to be a little bit more in line with what other heroes have, on top of the hero having like really huge trajectories, hitting a bunch of different people, getting into a lot of stuff. That should really help quite a bit in the situation there, and be less frustrating to fight against Raider. That should be pretty good for everybody involved.
Yeah, just get him back down into a decent tier.
Yeah. I mean,
into A tier.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's really just a case of how do we make the hero less frustrating to fight against without annihilating him, right? So that's kind of like the big deal.
I didn't know Raider had a problem.
Poor Raider.
Oh, here we go.
Comp memes.
This is what I was talking about.
Right. So okay.
Pirate
then
nerfs.
Pirate nerfs. So we're doing one last round for now, at least, of pirate nerfs. So Walk the Plank now deals 24
now
damage.
Everybody be happy now.
Again,
Pirate.
to lower the damage output.
Maybe I don't know. There's still gonna be some people complaining about Pirate.
All those dodge cancels, all that sort of stuff. So we wanted to make sure that the move is still good, it's still usable, but at the same time it doesn't do way too much damage. But we've also adjusted how much revenge it feeds to 30. So it's as if it dealt 30 damage, but it deals 24 in terms of revenge only. So again, we want to make sure the ganks with pirates are a little bit less effective. So that's one big way to have that, to crank it up a little bit, just enough that it still works. They're still good, but it's gonna be much more difficult to do repeated ganks, repeated walk the planks back and back and back to be able to kill somebody, to go from 100 to 0 really efficient. We've also lowered the damage of Cavalier Dance to 12. That's front dodge heavy. It used to deal 14. Again, a lot of these things are we're tweaking the damage here to make sure that Pirate has different choices and different options, and some of them have drawbacks and some of them have benefits, right? So when we designed Pirate, a lot of what we were going for was have her have a lot of different options at any point in her kit. That's why there's the dodge cancels. You can dodge into side heavies, front heavies. You can go to walk the plank. A lot of different things. And because those options were quite strong, we're doing a bit too much damage. It kind of made the choice less impactful, right? So now if you want to go into a front dodge heavy and then get the armor, get the extra damage, get the flow going, well, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit more damage. If you're going to walk the plank, yeah, it deals more damage. It deals much more damage than going in Cavalier Dance, but there's those trade-offs here that we really want to focus and have an emphasis on player choice and expression, and going, well, I play Pirate this way, you play Pirate that way, and so it's a little bit different. So that's the part of that nerf. And then the next one is a nerf, but it's also more of a bug fix, which is chaining timings from every single attack that leads to pistol blast on miss, right? So only when you miss with your attack, the chaining timings are 300 ms up from 200. And that is because we had an issue that if your attack trajectory would hit an opponent after your miss timing on somebody, or even after you hit your main target, or if something happened and you hit an off target afterwards, you could target swap to them and then do a pistol blast, and that pistol blast would be guaranteed because the chaining timing was very, really short. I've seen a lot of people talk about this on Reddit. We've had discussions with pro players there. So with that being at 300 instead of 200, should really eliminate those situations and make sure that character is a lot more fair to fight against and get into like that better feeling of fighting a pirate. I know some players find her oppressing and difficult to fight against. So hopefully these changes will really help in getting that level down a little bit and make the character still feel good, but not feel as bad to play against.
But JC, I was so enjoying glitch swapping, shooting everyone in the face.
Right?
Why would you take this away?
And there's still gonna be people complaining about the Pirate.
Yeah,
so
it's a good change. That needed.
What can you do?
Yeah. All right,
hopefully people,
I
guess you could say a little bit happy that Pirate
Warlord
got nerfed again.
Uninterruptible stance, that's armor for people who don't know yet. On Warrior's Heavy Finishers, now starts at 100 MS. It used to be 300, so at 100 it'll help the hero be a little bit better in group fights and be able to use those heavy finishers a bit more efficiently. We've also done another change to Centurion. So now there's two things, right? So every single move that could chain to jab on hit or block can also now chain to jab on miss. So you can do now jab, light rather, and if your opponent dodges it, you can go to jab afterwards. So that makes a bit of a difference here. Like it gives Centurion better ways to go into the character's mix-ups and get into a bunch of different things there. So that's really good. And we've also updated some other things to get that jab and the punch to really feel better and have track dodges better. To get that to work, we had to do two changes. First, I'm going to go to the second one because it's a little bit more complicated, but basically the maximum charge time for jab is now 1000 MS, up from 800. This might seem like a nerf, but in actuality, if we wanted it to really correctly track opponents that are early dodging, we needed to have that timing there. So you're going to charge for a little bit longer, but to compensate on top of this, the minimum charge is now 300 instead of 4, which means that in a lot of situations, people are going to have to dodge jab a little bit more on read than on reaction, because you can have a little bit less time to react to it, and then them dodging earlier means that the full charge they're going to have is going to be a lot more likely to hit them. So I know there was a lot of discussion about this, that we had fixed it, we had done a lot of changes to help it, but it was still situations where it wasn't working properly. So with this, it should be working properly in most situations. It's really going to help in those really weird edge cases that happen a bit more often.
Delete button, charging.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, next up, Gladiator. I know a lot of people have been asking for this, and we've actually brought it back. So, Fushina Ictus, which is toe stab, we've brought back the fact that it unbalances opponents that are out of stamina, and we brought back the old animation where you hit them in the toes, punch them in the face.
So good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know people were really sad when we removed it, and we kind of had to remove it when we did that review.
Gladiator always has a foot
otherwise,
fetish.
in situations where Gladiator was way too strong and somebody was out of stamina, you can do I don't remember how much, but an incredibly high amount of damage. But now that we've actually patched in and changed the way that stamina gets back to full whenever you get up, it means that whenever you land a Fushina Ictus and your opponent falls down, they're going to get back up to full stamina, and you're not going to be able to go back into that mix-up over and over and over and over again. So that should be quite a difference here. It should be really interesting. Kyoshin, Tengokaze, which is a down stance heavy, like the full block stance heavy, now costs 12 stamina instead of 20. We wanted to make sure that Kyoshin had a bit more options that were more stamina efficient rather, to be able to open up opponents. So that's a big change here. 8 stamina doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a big deal in a lot of situations.
Oh yeah.
Good? Yeah. Zanhu, so a bit of a nerf to the character's heavy finisher's damage. They got 28 instead of 32. So, first of all, 32 was too high, regardless, right? And then we picked 28 and we went down to that level because Zanhu has a feat called Winner's Advantage. And we don't want to nerf Winner's Advantage and remove a lot of effectiveness from it, but it causes your next attack to deal a lot of damage, which meant that Zanhu, after pretty much every single hit, could deal something close to 38 damage. So by reducing the damage of heavy finisher's baseline, we also lower the damage that Winner's Advantage ends up giving for Zanhu. It still goes above 30, but it doesn't go massively above 30. It doesn't go to 38 or something, which was completely crazy. So that's a little bit lower. Should help out a lot in those situations. And last but not least, for Shinobi, the dodge kicks now pinned for 800 MS instead of 1100. That should help. That should help a lot of gang situations. Because Shinobi was able to use the dodge kicks, pin opponents with them, get their opponents to be in that pin reaction for a long period of time, get a guaranteed heavy from an ally. You barely had to time it. It was pretty easy to do. With this, you need to be able to throw that heavy quicker, earlier, a bit more on read almost. So it's a lot harder. It should be harder to set up these ganks, but the attacks are still guaranteed afterwards, for Shinobi. So it shouldn't impact the hero in 1v1 situations, but in gank situations should make a big difference. And on top of that, Shadow Strike, which is the light attack that's guaranteed after a parry, now deals 14 damage instead of 18. And we made that change because that attack leads to a really potent mix-up for Shinobi, and so it gave Shinobi a bit too much damage, a bit too much pressure whenever he was landing, like even a heavy parry, right? So it dealt too much damage baseline, and then on top of that was giving a really good mix-up. So we lowered it down to a more normal level of damage for a light parry punish, for a heavy parry punish rather, and you get like more standard damage.
Yeah, I'm excited for him to not basically be like just a ham slapping samurai nail gun anymore. Just like it was out of control.
Yeah, that needed to change there, so that was pretty good. Okay, so we have other improvements, right? So this is a big one. Yeah, we have the FOV slider, which is now available on console, so that's really, really good. It's a great improvement. So we're gonna show you like two different screens, what it looks like. This is the default field of view, right? So this is what it looks like when you're normally playing on console, and you can't change it. On PC you can, but on console you absolutely cannot. You could not change it, but we've made it so it can be changed. So we can go to the next slide and see this is what it's at its largest setting. So you see that.
Oh, I see right
the camera's
there.
a bit more pulled back. You see wider. You see more of your characters like legs and stuff. So it really helps in a lot of situations. Shouldn't really have any impact on frame rate or whatever. So that's pretty good. And it really helps you play in a lot of situations to see like a lot wider. So that's really, really good in my opinion. There.
Hats off to the team for
that's cool.
Just the optimizations that have happened in the game over the
so that way the camera won't be
game.
so up close to your character.
I know back in the day this used to wreck consoles, and now like it's no problem.
Yeah,
so,
we're good.
Huzzah.
Awesome.
Great job there. Yeah. Okay. Another thing we're doing in this patch is we're improving some things about executions. So if you knew, really you didn't know, so I'll explain it to you, right? Is that some executions, not all of them, mostly the newer ones we've been doing, some of them from the early heroes didn't really have that issue, but a lot of executions would force you to go out of lock when the end, either if you got hit or at the end of the execution, they'd force you to go out of lock. Created a lot of situations where opponents could come in and get multiple hits on you because you were out of luck, and you get different hit reaction when you're out of luck, and then it was hard to get by that. So we've removed that completely. So no execution should ever force you to go out of luck when the end. That was a big undertaking. We had to go into every single execution that we have in the game. We had Ben, who some of you probably know, go into all of them and like do a lot of changes there. So like kudos to him. It was a lot of work there. And a lot of work on the tech team as well to make sure that we had like tools to really test that out. And the other thing is that some executions also forced a specific stance when they ended. So it would force you to go like top, left, or right, and it would really force it. That's also been removed, so you always stay in the stance you were in if you keep locked in when you perform an execution. So again, that's a lot of like quality of life improvements there, but it's very important so that your executions are actually safer and you don't get really heavily punished for performing an execution.
Yeah, you can use them all. Use anyone you want now.
Yeah.
New changes is always good.
I'm super happy
Oh,
to say
look
that
at that!
Valkyrie and Tiandi reworks are now live. So
I talked about
cool.
this on
We're
the
really
roadmap
happy that
breakdown
testing
video.
went well. We got a lot of feedback.
If the developers are gonna go ahead and
we're
do the
super hyped.
live
So Valkyrie
with the
stayed
Valkyrie and
relatively the same,
Tiandi
like, most of
reworks,
the
and
things
they
haven't
are.
changed.
Awesome.
We know that the hero, like
Now,
a lot of
I don't know about the
felt
dodge
Valkyrie
attacks
was
though.
that the hero
I
felt
don't know.
maybe
We have to
a
wait
little
and see
bit
what
different,
happens.
a little bit odd to play.
But cool.
Then a lot of
The
people
Tiandi and
also
Valkyrie
mentioned that
changes
once
are
you
going
do
live
get the
next
groove
week,
and you
so
get
that's
to
awesome.
Understand the character, she works way better, and it's actually interesting. It's a new mix-up that we've put in, so we've decided to keep her mostly as is. There's some improvements you can see in the patch notes. You'll see like the changes that we've made from the current, like from the previous live Valkyrie to the new live Valkyrie. We're not gonna go into details because it's too much stuff there. It's gonna take like we all have other things to do. I'd love to be here for 6 hours, but I think people would kill me. So that's it for Valkyrie. But for Tiandi, I have a couple of notes, so we can go. So for Tiandi, the hero also, the rework went really well, right? People really liked it. There was a lot of stuff there that was appreciated, a lot of quality of life, a lot of good stuff. But there was also some more negative feedbacks that we've addressed. So first off, we've reverted the dragon dodge changes. So that means that in the testing grounds, we had tried to speed up the side dodge heavies a little bit so that they could be more effectively used as dodge attacks and not necessarily as repositioning tools. But as it turns out, a lot of players actually gave us feedback that felt bad. The soft feints from it were hard to do, and players were mostly using it to reposition, and they really missed that functionality. So we heard you, we listened. It's back to how it was. So great job there. I think like this is why we do testing grounds, right? Sometimes there's feedbacks about things that people don't like, and we're like, well, okay, it's reasonable, so we're gonna put it back. What this means is for Tiandi, if you want to be able to do like more reliable side dodge attacks, you have to do tiger dodges, but you have to delay them a little bit, which was still possible beforehand. So if you were doing it before, you can still do it now. It won't be a problem.
Man, you know what?
We've also reverted the dragon.
This kind of gets me excited for the Yodeling Thunder rework right now.
So by that I mean,
and that's
right
gonna be the
now,
next,
the next
thing they're gonna be talking about. It's the Yodeling Thunder rework.
Dodge, and you can go into like
the one thing anybody has been asking for a while, and finally they're getting it, guys. So hopefully all the Yor mains are excited.
So you no longer
and people who are a fan of Yor, like I am,
again, a lot of players are like, well, no, actually, we really like to have that soft feint. So we kept it. To be fair, Dragon Dodge can still be hard feinted, and it might be better in some cases to hard feint because then you can get parries off of people about dodge attacking. So that might even be better. But if you want to soft feint to a dodge and go into Tiger Dodge or into whatever you like to do, you totally can now. So again, that was reverted. You can get into what you wanted to do, so that's good.
Have all the options.
Right, yeah. And then finally, we had changed the delay timing to top Dragon Dodge. So you can do it only a little bit later into the dodge, and that was because we didn't want to get into situations where you would do Dragon Kick into top Dragon Dodge, and then repeat over and over and over again, and get that kind of vortex feeling. We really wanted to encourage players to use the new follow-up we've done for Dragon Kick. But at the end of the day, this had a really big negative impact on the safety of some attacks. People like to do like a palm strike into a top heavy before the rework that had armor, and so with this you can actually do palm front dodge, dragon dodge, and get armor back earlier to be able to trade with different things, right? So that was like, it was a bit of a puzzle there to get that going into where exactly things needed to fit. But this means that sometimes after a dragon kick, you can land a dragon dodge if somebody hit a wall or whatever. But in most cases, you shouldn't be able to. We did a couple of other tweaks. So I would say go look at the patch notes, look at what we've done, and you can test it out and see for yourself. But we really have a good feeling on Tiandi and Valkyrie both. I think they're a lot more viable. They're a lot more fun to play. They're super interesting characters. So we're again,
they both feel a lot better.
Yeah, so it's amazing, right? And so big kudos to the team. I know everybody worked super hard on this, and I want to thank the community. Like a lot of players gave us a lot of good feedback on this. Exactly the kind of feedback we'd like to see. And even in the case of Valkyrie, when it's I'm not sure, I prefer the old Valkyrie or whatever, but then that's why those testing rounds run for a week, and then people can give like more feedback and go, well, actually, it feels different, but in a good way and not in a bad way. So we really pushed for this, and I think we have like the best iteration of Valkyrie we've ever had. So I'm super hyped about that.
Yeah, and it just underscores like the importance of testing grounds and the feedback that we get from that, and players being like really honestly specific with their feedback. Because general feedback of like, I don't like it is fine, but it really helps us when you're like, oh well, I really liked XYZ, but ABC I didn't like. Then we can really hone in and fine tune, and that's where we see stuff like reverting the Tiandi dragon kick stuff, or dragon dodge stuff.
Yeah, so that's great. I'm really happy. So keep it up. We have more TG stuff coming later in the show. So again, I can't wait to get people's opinions and feedback on that as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with me, JC, to go through all of those changes. There's so many. I'm glad that the Lawbringer mains have something to be happy.
Yeah, of course. Nusha mains as well. That we didn't forget about Nusha.
That unblockable.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna bounce out. Josh is gonna jump in here.
I think Nusha still needs more. So that's what people are gonna be saying. Nusha still needs more.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Peace.
Have a good one.
All right, and you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Dude, that was a great salad. That salad was really tasty, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, it is here. The moment that everybody has been waiting for, and that is the Jormungandr rework.
Warriors, welcome back to a very
wow, he
fun
freaking
and
yelled
special
into that mic.
episode of the Testing Grounds, or iteration of Testing Grounds. We have the man, the myth, the legend, JC here in the building to talk about this awesome TG. JC, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. As I said, this is going to be a fun.
Everybody get excited.
This Testing Grounds is something that
for the Thor of Honor,
so
the Jormungandr rework.
Woo! December 29th, and JC, we are finally having a TG for the Jormungandr. So walk us through it. What do we got?
Yeah, so it's a nice little Christmas present for everybody, so that's gonna be kind of cool. So for Jormungandr, just to give like a high level, kind of like what we were going for, we wanted to keep the hero being a bully, not necessarily a stamina bully, but a bully. Right?
How dare you?
It's this big hero with a big hammer.
Don't be a bully. Be a star.
We've already done a little bit of adjustments to the hero like beforehand. That was kind of to prepare us to get into this testing grounds as well. So it's gonna be really interesting. But the focus of the hero is still to be disruptive, but not in a way that's just unfun to play with. The stamina changes. A lot of what we've been doing with stamina regeneration and getting it back when you get back up and all that sort of stuff, it kind of all led to this. Part of why we did all these things is for Jorm, and to make sure that we were all good with this. So we're gonna have we have a little bit of a video that we usually do, where I'm going to be explaining the changes with Noel, who's our gracious designer that's working with us in this hero, and then that's it.
Yeah, and then we'll come back here, kind of give our final thoughts, and yeah, I'm super excited about this. So without further ado, we give you the new bully Jormungandr. Enjoy.
Alright, well, hello and welcome to the Jormungandr revamp video. So I'm going to run you through what the changes are to the hero, where we're going with this, brand new moves, all sort of cool stuff. So to get started, I want to make sure that it's, like, I address the fact that we're really trying to move away from stamina bully as an identity, especially for Jormungandr. So what we've been doing with this hero is that we've really looked into how can we make the hero interesting and still have a gimmick, something that lets the hero be unique, have something that's really different and very almost specific to the hero. And so for this, we settled onto making a hero that's still a bully, right? Still a big hammer, still big hits, but it's more of a bully that moves opponents around on a battlefield rather than control their stamina and try to gain the upper hand in terms of stamina where we're going with this. So the first thing that's important to note is that none of Jormungandr's moves drain stamina, pause stamina, or unbalance out of stamina opponents specifically, right? So there's still, as we'll see, there's a move that unbalances opponents, but it always unbalances opponents. It doesn't matter if they're out of stamina anymore. But like the heavy finishers no longer do it. So a lot of none of his bashes do it either. So we'll have to see where that goes. But it's not. We really wanted to move away from this aspect of the hero. Hammer Slam is still in. Don't worry. So
I wonder how happy people are.
So to start, we have
happy about that. No more Jormungandr stamina.
It's a brand new animation, which is this now. So like a big hit.
Oh, look at that.
As you noticed, this attack always
ouch,
unbalanced.
Hit me in the knee. That hurts.
Jotun Farewell into Hammer Slam.
Damn.
Quite well. It is 800 MS. And it is also feintable. Right? So you can feint to guard break, feint to parry, feint to whatever you like to do. But it's quite strong. It always gives a Hammer Slam. So that's very, very useful. You can do it anywhere you could use Jotun Farewell. So after lights, after heavies. And we can go anything that initiates chains. You can go into a Jotun Farewell after. We've also did a change to Jormungandr's heavy finishers. So as before, this looks like to be exactly the same, right? The big difference is on top. So top did not use to move opponents back, where sides would. So now all three sides do it. All three sides can lead to a wall splat to gain additional
I never
damage.
noticed that.
So we really wanted to get into situations where Jormungandr can move people around the battlefield. They can hit them to go towards their allies, to go to do wall splat, to walls, to whatever you'd like. But really, it's bullying them around and moving them around the battlefield quite a bit there. And keeping the spirit of this, we've also added another new move, which is called Venomous Sting. So this is that when you press heavy after landing a guard break, right? So I can do it from here. So as you can see, it's similar to the heavy finishers, where when you land those attacks, they always displace your opponent, move them around. You can wall spat them, get them into a wall, get big damage. They deal damage similar to heavy openers, so 24. On top is always guaranteed. You can get somebody into a wall, hit them again, big damage there. Super interesting things. So again, we really wanted to go towards making sure that the hero was able to move opponents around quite a bit, and we want to be able to like chain as well. So you can go into this, and it goes into your heavy your light and heavy openers, or into zone attack if you want. They're not guaranteed, but they still help you add more pressure with the heroes. That gives you a bit of more pressure, a bit more interesting things. The next step we have is another new move, which is a zone attack in chains. The move name is the Ouroboros Smite, and so you can press zone attack after any move except itself, Hammer Slam, and Venomous Sting. So you can do Venomous Sting. You're going to go into, because you go back to neutral, you don't really go into your chain, so you can't do the move. But after any single attack in chains, you can go into that move. It's 800 MS. It has uninterruptible stance at 100 MS, so it's very difficult to peel. Big trajectory all around Jormungandr. Does like pretty respectable damage. And what's interesting too is that you can go into situations where you can go heavy finisher into Ouroboros Smite, into heavy finisher to Ouroboros Smite.
Oh, wow.
Keep that going, right? So in team fights, you can see this is going to be quite strong. You can hit people around you with an
Dude, people are going to be excited for this.
Unblockable and armored, and keep the flow going. A lot of what we've been doing with Jormungandr is really work on the hero's flow as well. And this is a big part, right? It kind of acts as a chain reset. It initiates chains. So you can also do, if you'd like, go into this, right? You can do
Bam!
Into Hammer Slam, do all those things that you want to do. Again, the flow is a lot more open when you're able to use that zone attack. Even though it comes from a single stance, because it's feintable, right? So we can feint it. It's still a little bit riskier to parry. You can't really interrupt it. So it's a pretty potent tool in his arsenal, and should help in a lot of anti-gank situations. The next up we're going to look at is the light openers. So Jormungandr's light openers had a bit of an issue, especially at high level, where they used to be pokes. And so because of that, they were a bit easier to read, especially at high level. We have some players that are really good at reacting to attacks and reading animations, even after the CCU. And because they were so distinct from the side heavy openers, or from even the top heavy openers, it made them kind of easier to react to and see, oh yeah, okay, I see the poke, I see the wind up, I can parry them on reaction. Even make them a little bit easier to block. So we've actually went back to mocap and reshot these attacks. So now there's swings, right? So all three sides, there's swings instead of being pokes. That should help them, make them a little bit less distinguishable from the heavy openers. So it gives you a little bit more strength into that, where it's a little bit better. It's a bit,
His chair was squeaking.
It's harder to react to. So in that way, we really wanted to make Jormungandr like less reactable overall. The next change I want to discuss is the light finishers. So they used to be undodgeable. We've removed the undodgeable property here, mainly because Jotun Farewell and a lot of the other tools that Jorm has in his toolkit right now, they're able to be feinted. You can do a lot more with them. So everything that we've done there felt like it was overkill, and it's also like having the light finishers undodgeable was a bit overkill. And on top of this, it was really difficult to work with at lower level, right? When you're at low level, the undodgeables there might as well be unblockable. They're super hard to react to. They're hard to block. They're still enhanced, right? So Jorm still keeps to get that pressure going. So removing the undodgeable here should help make the hero a little bit less frustrating to fight against, especially at lower level. Another thing we've changed is Jorm's neutral bash, right? So Jormungandr used to have this bash where you could walk backwards and press guard break and grab the opponent and hit them into the gut with their hammer. At 600 MS, it wasn't that good of a move. It's super reactable at high level, not very good even at low level, like people are able to dodge it. It just did stamina damage, not super interesting. So what we've done instead is we've moved the old Jotun Farewell animation on a front dodge guard break like this, right? So you can do it at 300 MS into the front dodge. similar to a lot of other what we've been doing with other melees like that, a lot of bashes. But the important part here is that with this move, it also chains to your openers, and you see right now that light was guaranteed. You can also go into zone if you'd like, you can do whatever. But the idea here is that we wanted to give Jormungandr a better opener, a better way to open up opponents and keep the pressure going, get into that flow, get into the zone, and get that stuff going. So that works quite well.
Get in the zone!
Again,
Auto zone!
You can go to heavies if you like to. They're armored, right? So there's a lot of good stuff that can happen here in group fights. So that's one thing also to look at. Next we have front dodge heavy. So it's 800 ms, down from I think it was like 1,000. It was quite slow. So we've really sped it up. And on top of this, we've adjusted the uninterruptible stance timing to be at 400 ms, so right after the feint window. So with this, you can it creates a bit of a mix-up with the front dodge bash, right? So you can go into this feint, the guard break, feint to parry if people are like reacting to your dodge, trying to dodge your punch and stuff. So really, the idea here is get into the zone, give him more mix-up, and give the hero better ways to open up from. And then we also have a quick thing about Jotun Gift and Jotun Grudge. So Jotun Gift is light after a guard break, and Jotun Grudge is a guard break after parry. We're not going to go into it right now because I'm alone recording this. I don't. Unfortunately, we've been having some tech issues after record this alone. Still, and so the idea here is that they now deal direct damage instead of dealing. I can do it again if you like. Instead of dealing stamina damage, right? As I said, we've removed all the stamina damage and we replaced it with direct damage in this case. The idea here is that, first of all, we want it to be useful, right? The stamina damage was useful in creating some sort of I'm going to unbalance you type of situations because we're moving away from that a little bit. But at the same time, what is interesting is that it gives you more options, right? Because depending on the situation, depending on if there's walls nearby, depending on what's going on around you, if your opponent's out of stamina, it might be better to do light into throw into hammer slam. Or if there's a wall, it might be better to do venomous sting into a wall, into a top heavy to deal more damage. So one of the things we're really trying to go towards in this revamp, and a lot of what we've been doing, is emphasize and have a lot of focus on choice. We want players to have different options at different times. Sometimes there's things that are optimal in whatever situation, but the idea here is that we really, really want to have these things be open up. You can make your choice, you have options, you can decide on your own playstyle, on what you want to do, on what's going on around you, what is the best source of damage, what would you prefer to do. Sometimes it's better not to do a hammer slam because you're going to get back up with full stamina. There's a lot of different things that we're looking into here, so we hope this is really interesting. And then finally, last but not least, last little bit of nugget of cool stuff. As some of you have seen, we've actually had a bug in the game a little while ago where the front dodge heavy had a slightly different animation, and people I saw a lot of people actually thinking about where would this move be used from. It's actually on Jormungandr's new sprint attack. So when Jormungandr runs, you do sprint attack. This is the big attack that we have right now. That you saw a little bit of the animation where he jumps forward and hits people on the way down. So again,
so that was in the trailer. Okay.
100% sure
I thought that was just like the execution. You know, the execution when she winds up her hammer, that goes up at the end and slams her hammer on the opponent's head.
How do we make the hero more enticing?
So that's now a one in attack.
Have better moves, have better flow. So that's about it for me. So thank you. We hope you love this rework. Please leave feedback everywhere you usually do. Big thanks to Noel, who's our game designer, was in charge of this hero. Did a magnificent job. So kudos to him. And we're back on the show. Thank you.
What a bully!
I wonder how everybody now feels about the new rework.
And I'm super excited for everyone to
I think everybody's gonna be happy.
On them and
but I think
go to town,
like they said, this is gonna be testing ground, so they're gonna go ahead and test out the new Jormungandr moves.
Yeah, so a little bit.
And after that, they're gonna go ahead and do some other changes, and then after that,
right?
We don't know if this is actually gonna be going live next season or this season. I don't know. We have to wait and see what they.
And what
they think about it. And the testing grounds is going to be happening on the 22nd, so that's actually 1 week after the launch of Year 6 season.
We're really confident
season
in what we're doing, right? So generally, we're going to put something on the testing grounds, and we're really confident about where we're going. But there's still some variables, some things that we want to get like more input on. The thing is, by choice, we're not telling you what those questions we're asking ourselves and players, because we don't want to get like biased data or anything, and point towards a specific direction or not. We want to have like completely unbiased and good and fair data from players, good feedback. But I want to reiterate that sometimes when we have things in testing grounds, some things are not going to be exactly as they're going to be live. As I think if anybody's been following us for a while, it's clear that we actually always take feedback in mind when we do changes from testing grounds to live. Generally, there's at least some things that change around, like damage gets changed, timings get changed, a couple of things can change between the TG and what we have on live, mainly because we get that feedback. But I find the best way for us to get feedback and the best way for everybody to communicate is to, if you're able to clearly say, look, there's this, there's like a couple of things I like, some things I dislike. You can point out why you dislike specific things, explain why, say you like these other things, and go into like a bit, like as much detail as we can get. And because I know sometimes it looks like we do like big blanket changes or big things that might look a little bit strange, but often enough, like I said, we do these because we need to get pure unbiased data on everything, right? It doesn't mean that everything's going to be shipping like that exactly.
Right. I mean, it is called a testing ground, so this
Exactly,
is our playground to try things. Whether they work, great. If they don't, okay, then what improvements can we make along the way? So like, and then obviously all of the feedback that we get from Reddit threads, all types of comments. I mean, like I go through them, like the entire community team goes through them, and so does the fight team. So, the more detailed, the better. Honestly, I would say. Awesome, JC. I'm super excited for everyone to get their hands on Yorm for the testing grounds. Again, this will run from December 22nd to December 29th. Be sure to give us your feedback when you get a chance to play. But JC, thank you so much for coming on to talk about the new Jormungandr. She looked awesome.
And I hope players have as much of a fun time with the hero as we did. Like you see in the video, there's like a bunch of new animations, new moves, new stuff for Yorm. We really pushed to get a hero that still feels Yorm, right? Still feels Big Hammer, but has that
some new changes.
A hero that's gonna be a bit more viable and more interesting to play.
A Yorm with a new attitude. I'm here for it. So JC, thank you so much for coming on. And Warriors, don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with the content of the week.
All right.
Content of the week. I didn't actually get a chance to see what is the content of the week. I was so busy with work, so yeah. But yeah, guys, hopefully everybody's excited for the new changes for the Jormungandr. They look awesome. Now we just have to go ahead and see what everybody else thinks when they get their hands on it, and then all good.
I'm so excited for everything. And I want to thank everyone, as always. Thank you, Josh, for co-hosting with me. And I want to thank all of you who tuned in today for coming into the show. And an extra special thank you for those of you who didn't tune out like 5 seconds ago. That's awesome. And I hope that you guys are as ready as we are for all that we have coming in this title update.
Do me a lot.
Ready!
There was so much. Josh, can you recap it for us?
I will. So if you're just joining us, it's year 6, season 4, Shattered Fates, December 15th. We've got a ton of stuff coming, so we're starting off with the Frostwind Nights event, which includes Ice Brawlers. You want to dump your friends in the drink? There you go. There's your chance. Runs from December 15th to January 5th. We have a hero skin, Commander Rivier, for Black Prior, which looks utterly amazing. This is also dropping on December 15th.
I'm so happy we're finally getting a nod to Baldwin this second.
So good. And then, of course, we're doing Hero Fest. We have a Shaolin one on January 5th, and then a Gladiator one on January 19th. And those come with unique executions as well. So we got a Battle Pass.
We got 2 Hero Fest confirmed. Shaolin, Gladiator.
Testing
awesome.
Is happening with the Jormungandr on December 22nd, which I know everyone is super excited about. Again, make sure you get your thoughts in.
No, we still have 2 more Hero Fest, but that's gonna be in the next
fire below you is not enough.
next title update.
We got Raining Inferno coming
when
back
the new
on January.
hero comes out. Hey, Raining Inferno.
Very
awesome.
excited about it. And also, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we are giving away a holiday sweater. Be sure to check your email on the date that is December 12th. And then you can also use the code on your screen for Ho Honor 3 Hoes to save 20% off the Ubisoft store.
Honor.
And yeah, that's just TU1, dude.
That is so much. But wait, there's more. Because we got
Wait.
content of the week we got to talk about.
There's more.
So, content of the week.
Scary
starting
movie.
with the content coming December 8th. We start off with the signature Use Your Head for 5K Steel. I love that it's Shinobi doing that. Old Shinboy breaking the cinder block. And then we got Commander Ravier, also known as the King of Not Jerusalem.
So I guess that's the only thing that's gonna be
I
for
just
content
love
of the
this.
week.
I have seen this,
The signature.
like as a suggestion from the community for so long.
Kind of
now,
seen that in
and to
those
finally have
movies when
something
you know
reminiscent
the
of
person
Baldwin
basically just
is
like
really great.
boom
So
hits
I'm
their
so
head on
excited
like
for this
bricks or
25K
stones
steel.
or anything like that.
What's up, Josh?
Oh, I was just saying, it's just so good. I mean, like I said, I don't even play
So good.
Blackfriar, but like I
Dude,
will.
I cannot wait to go ahead
I
and
am
get that hero
going
skin for the
to
Blackfriar.
righteously flip so many
I'm a
pancakes.
little bit
It's gonna be
little
awesome.
bit sad that it's not for
and then-
TND though.
Quick reminder: Blackfriar skin is 25K steel, and
Penalty
then we've got
code.
this lovely emote, the yellow,
card, not the band. The
I like how the
actual card
Yalamusha is
I've
dressed
never
as,
taken a yellow
as a
card
referee.
in
That's kind of
tournament.
funny.
I plan to keep
Ooh,
that
new
way.
wings.
Then we've got the mythic outfit, 15K steel, celestial power. And I always love whenever we add more wings to the game. So, you know, there's the angel wings, we got the dragon wings.
That's
we got
gonna be
these.
available next week.
Wings are great. I love them.
Yep.
And then we got
So
you,
good.
Carrot, defeat me. Is an execution. This snowman is about to get honked.
Oh,
Carrot's not supposed to go in that way.
ouch!
No, it is not. But
How sharp is that?
if we cared about physics here, a lot
Oh
of
my God,
executions
dude.
would be questionable.
This reminds me of the movie
so,
Jack
yeah.
Frost.
Pop that snowman.
Anybody remember that movie,
give him
Jack
the big old
Frost?
schnoz,
For the
and
people who have
then,
not seen that
get ready for
movie,
Messengers of Doom, because
go ahead and
we've
check it
got
out.
weekly
It's a
quests from
funny
Fire
movie.
Owners. So that'll be December 15th through 22nd.
It's basically a serial
And
killer that turns
you
into
gotta- Because there's
a
medic
snowman
challenge,
and
speed
starts
of action
killing
with the
people.
Most revives because it is the season. for
Oh
Gary.
god,
So get your friends up off the ground and win stuff as a faction.
that's kind of a funny execution though.
Finally, maybe the Vikings won't win it this time because maybe
That's
the
just
Wings
wishful thinking.
can pull it
honestly.
out.
That's just wishful thinking. They're probably gonna win it.
They're all about killing, man.
Step up, guys. Come
If
on.
it's a Slayer challenge, yeah, I'd be with you. But it's a medic challenge, so you know maybe Samurai can pull it out. I think that's dang near everything.
We
But I
do?
feel like there's something we forgot, man.
There's one thing. Have you ever wanted to hang out with Nusha?
That's it. You will want to hang out with Nusha while you study for finals?
I think while listening to the full For Honor soundtrack.
That you had me at For Honor soundtrack. Actually, you had me at Nusha.
I had me at
On the soundtrack. Yeah, so we are doing a For Honor radio for finals week, and it's starting right after the Warriors Den. So we partnered with a local artist to do like an animation loop. So his name's Evan McGuire, and yeah, he just put together a little animation for us, and we're going to stream the For Honor soundtracks from everything. So I was talking to our audio guys, and I was like, just give me everything, give me all of it. So you can have some epic music to study by or to slay by. So you can have it up while you're playing, you can have it up while you're studying, while you're relaxing.
While you're
Although-
sleeping, give your dreams a nice little soundtrack.
Although the Year One Nights theme's got a lot of drums, I don't know if I could relax to that. Dun, 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 dun.
I've fallen asleep to heavier stuff. Trust me.
Impressive. So again, huge thank you to everyone who.
For
tuned
me,
in
I fall
today.
asleep to
Thank you
ASMR.
for joining us.
For anybody
Josh,
who does
thank
not
you
know
for
what
hosting with me.
ASMR is,
And
go ahead and
that was
look it
fun.
up.
I hope
It's
all of you at
basically
home watching have
like a
lovely
massage
and
when
enjoy
that helps
getting
you try to
cooked
go
and
ahead and fall asleep.
And
It's
get
like
some
it's
hot
like it's massaging your brain,
Get
and then you
comfy.
fall asleep.
But yeah,
I
For Honor
I use
Week,
ASMR
this, so we will
when
see
I
you
go to
guys
sleep.
on the battlefield
It helps me.
and in the next den.
Well, guys, that right there is the end of the reveal live stream for Year 6 Season 4 of For Honor. Hopefully, everybody's excited for the brand new season happening next week. Now, guys, like I said before, I will be doing a Warriors Den recap on this, so that way, if you guys don't want to go ahead and watch the full live stream, I will be doing a short version of this, so that way you guys go ahead and get to know the details about what's coming to Year 6 Season 4, about the event, about, you know, some of the other stuff right there. So don't worry, I will be giving you guys a What We Stand recap to give you guys anything that you missed out. So don't worry about that. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are excited for the next season. I'm excited. I can't wait, until we get to the next season. And then after that, once we get to February, that's when we're gonna be getting. That's when we're gonna be playing as the brand new hero. Oop, my controller fell.
Every field will have its.
There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm excited because the brand new hero is gonna be coming on in February. But don't know when the reveal is going to be. Either the reveal is going to be, hold on a second, because I did talk about this. So the brand new hero is going to be coming in February 2nd. That's on a Thursday. So I don't know if they're going to be doing the reveal on the 26th, or if they're going to go ahead and do the reveal on the 31st. So we have to go ahead and wait and see when they announce that. But either way, I'm excited for this season, and I can't wait to go ahead and see all the brand new stuff that they're gonna be giving us. They already are giving us a bunch of stuff for the launch of Year 6 Season 4, but once we go ahead a little bit more further into it, I can't wait to go ahead and see what the stuff we're gonna be expecting. It's gonna be awesome, and you know what? Who knows? Who knows if they're gonna be announcing Year 7, and what kind of stuff are we gonna be getting for Year 7? Because if anybody remembers, when we got the reveal of the pirate, the developers, made some announcements there, with Year 6, and then, when it came to crossplay, crossplay was later. So they announced the new year, and then they announced, what else did they announce? Oh, the new faction, yeah, with the pirate, yeah. So yeah, they announced the new year of For Honor, and then of course the Outlanders faction. So yeah. But yeah, guys, so I'm excited. I can't wait to go ahead and play this, next week. It's going to be awesome. And don't worry, guys. I'll keep you guys posted on anything that's to do with For Honor, any news or anything like that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned, cool guys. Bye.